City Morning Show.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's Friday. We say good morning to one and all. I just got a little joke here. I will share it with RC1, but I can't share it off the air. But good morning, RC.
Good morning. I mean, you can't share it on the air.
No, but you can read it in silent, and I'll share it on the air because.
If you allow me before that, we just say good morning.
Yeah,
Buenos días a todos.
Yeah.
Gracias a Dios por un nuevo día para abrir una ventana nueva para cada uno de nosotros y darle gracias a Dios por la protección que nos está dando nuestra querida patria Belice, y oramos, ¿no? Y nos mantenemos juntos como una familia esta mañana, una nación de hermanos, hermanas, hermandad, y le agradecemos todas las bendiciones que nos ha brindado. Muy buenos días. Good morning.
That's right, RC. It's a lovely, beautiful morning. It's a lovely. Yeah.
Morning.
That's the way to do. You don't have to read. Don't read it, but I hope you understand. I hope you understand it. You know, cause yeah, but it's a wonderful morning. It's a wonderful day. It is Friday. It's the 20th day of March. You get it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. We can't read that, Pania, right? It's just a little joke, you know.
Yes. No, I can't even read that. Anyway,
Yeah.
It's good to be here on a beautiful Friday morning.
Yeah.
And of course, apart from us being here, we gotta say thank you also to Rahim. He have to come
Yes.
out early.
Yeah.
He have to ensure that everything is done and such. And we pray for blessings for him and his family and everybody else who's watching. Y saludos a Benque Viejo del Carmen, Socos y todos
Yes.
allá.
Yeah.
Y saludos para don Ramón Alemán ahí en Belopan, que nos mira todos los días. Rezamos por ti, sabemos que tuviste un accidente y que oramos por ti también. And we also want to say prayers for everybody and prayers for our good colleague, Emmanuel Martinez.
Yes.
We miss him here at this time. We know that he loved that. And Emmanuel, we want you to know that we remember, our prayers and we miss you here too. And we pray for all the best too and healing.
Yes. It's the 20th of the 3rd of
Yes.
2020.
Well,
2020.
yes, 2020 double.
Yeah.
Double.
Put some numbers together.
So maybe Digi can go back to the drawing board since it's triple 20. They forgive triple up instead of double up. I mean, we are going through this coronavirus things, and double up is okay, but give the people a treat.
Yes, that's true.
Triple up. I mean, because maybe this is the opportunity that people will have to be able to communicate with their loved ones and such. And it's not too late, Digi. It's not too late.
Yes.
BTL managers and so that
Just
you
not one
you
block and
reflect.
everybody got it.
No, really. Remember they used to have triple up.
Yeah.
And I think that the corporates have been asked to contribute and help with the COVID-19 endemic situation. But I believe it's time now, like for example BTL, people need to get in touch with their loved ones. They're working.
Yeah.
You got fishermen out in the sea, you have people out of the country, and not everybody, our people. We had a meeting with, just to reflect on it, a meeting with Nemo, and you had BDF soldiers and police officers. Some come all the way from Toledo, different villages.
Yeah.
They come from Sokots, Corozal, in the rural communities, and you have police officers from all over the country. And if we were to work along with them, DJ, I mean, it is said that BTL is for the government, for the people,
Yes.
and I take up that challenge. That, I mean, it's not too late today, That's too late. You can have a triple day today, or if you can't make it today, make it tomorrow.
You're
But
right.
offer a triple up, give people an opportunity. People may have $2, but $2 or $6.
Yes.
You understand it, and it may mean a lot to people. So I'm not saying this facetiously or to create any situation, but I believe just like how Ministry of Health is saying, listen to information. Communication is the key. Let us allow communication with
Yeah.
everyone, and that goes not only for Digi, but also for Smart. You understand? Both of them can give triple up.
Yes.
I mean, this is a time that we need to share with one another,
Yeah, well, RC.
It's a beautiful morning, though.
Yeah.
Thank God.
I would like to ask you to see if you can bring up the weather forecast. But folks, we will have some announcements coming up very shortly. We will check in with the Belize Met Service because it's important that we know about the weather, what is happening and what the weather is going to be like for today, for tonight as we go to the Belize Met Service. right here this morning on Google, and we'll be bringing that to you. But you know, if we don't share it, folks, just go to your phone, your cell phone, and go to Google, and you know, just type in Belize Med Service, and that will come up, and you will get the general weather forecast. All right, so it's a general weather forecast that we're looking at. And let me check the time right now. It's exactly 7 minutes after 7 o'clock. And ladies and gentlemen, all viewers this morning, for the weather report, we go over to RC1.
Well, the general weather forecast for today, I get the unusual, unusual.
Yeah, I think you got it now.
Yeah, okay, for
Yeah.
Friday, March 20th, 2020, the general situation calls for a gentle to moderate easterly air flow to prevail over the country. The 24-hour forecast, a few cloudy spells today and partly cloudy tonight. Showers will be isolated with a few more over the south. Winds will be from the east at 10 to 20 knots. The sea states will be choppy, and the temperatures in the coastal areas, it's going to be 86 degrees Fahrenheit or 30 degrees Celsius. In the inland area, which is us, it's 92 degrees Fahrenheit and 33 degrees Celsius. And in the hills, 82 degrees Fahrenheit and 28 degrees Celsius. So we can see a very warm, basically hot day today in our country, all across from north to south, east to west. And we're going to be having some wonderful wind, refreshing wind. And so we have a good weather to appreciate. The outlook, similar conditions to continue Saturday and Saturday night. So between now and tomorrow, basically the weather will maintain itself. The astronomical condition for those in the sea, the highs today at 8:31 a.m., lows today at 1:43 p.m., and the highs today at 8:02 p.m., and the lows tomorrow at 3 a.m. Sunrise tomorrow at 5:55 a.m. and sunset today at 6:03. Moonrise tomorrow at 5:55 a.m. and moonset today at 3:17 p.m. We want to say a very special thank you and stay safe to Crystal Rosales, our forecaster from the National Met Service of Belize, and that's the weather forecast for today.
Pronóstico, RC.
El pronóstico de tiempo, las temperaturas más o menos que nos indican a nosotros en las áreas costeras, 86 grados Fahrenheit o 30 grados Celsius. En el interior del país, 92 grados Fahrenheit y 33 grados Celsius. Y en las montañas, los cerros, por decir, los cerritos, 82 grados Fahrenheit y 28 grados Celsius. Así que en el curso del país, del norte al sur, podemos ver que las temperaturas están superiores a los 80 grados y 90 en la parte interior, que nos va a dar un día caluroso en nuestro país. Así de que, what is the importance of the temperature today? The importance of the temperature. We thank God for blessing us that we're the only country in the region of the Americas right now
It's free.
that is coronavirus free from COVID-19. And the high temperatures, it has been said that the virus it doesn't like extreme hot weather, and hot weather in our country is like another God-given fighting barrier, a defense mechanism of it coming in and hitting us. You understand?
Yeah.
So the temperature is very, very important. Apart from how we live it today, it's part of how we take care of ourselves, and we want to thank God for providing that wonderful warm weather for us.
RC, we have a guest coming up, but before we do that, special announcement, lots of special announcement was made yesterday. We had a sitting in the house, but we'll be doing that after we entertain our guests. But very importantly, the Director of Immigration, Ms. Baptiste, yesterday lined out that all those illegal crossing, they are enforcing the law on those areas. We're talking about Santa Cruz. She no mentioned Botes and a place, because Botes is not Belize.
That's Mexican side.
We have Santa Cruz, we have the Pachacan area.
San Victor.
Yeah, San Victor and all those areas. They will be having vigilant forces in those areas. So you're asked not to go to those places. It's illegal crossings, and it's not only to protect others, but it's to protect yourself as well. So all those people that live along those lines, they will be having special patrols. We have the BDF, we have the GSU, the police department, immigration department, and it's an offense. And if you do so, you are eligible to get charged. Así que la gente que vive en esas áreas
Tiene que
así,
tener mucha precaución porque la jefa de inmigración ha indicado de que habrá patrullas en las áreas que fronteriza, particularmente acá en el norte, en la Riviera, en la área de Santa Cruz, Pachacán y por San Víctor, en toda esa área, en Douglas, San Román, Río Hondo. Van a haber patrullas de inmigración, policía, las aduanas y las Fuerzas Armadas en una patrulla para poder asegurar la integridad de nuestro país, para que no venga y entre este virus muy dañoso que te puede dañar a ti, nos puede dañar a todos. Es una protección civil para todos los ciudadanos, así que por favor no lo vean como algo que no quieren que uno cruce, porque no son cruceros formal oficial. Y sabemos que en toda la parte de Belice hasta el sur tenemos áreas que son como coladores, ¿no? Así que coladores quiere decir que hay áreas donde la gente puede entrar, pero tenemos que hacer todo en los esfuerzos para proteger la ciudadanía y particularmente a la gente también que va. No por ir a hacer unos $2, pues tomas el riesgo de enfermarte y ser parte de contribución de este virus que es un desastre mundial. Así de que les pedimos que por favor entiendan que esto es una seguridad nacional para protección civil y debemos de cooperar. Y si los vemos por allá, probablemente les podemos dar un refresco, un agua o algo, porque nos están protegiendo a nosotros y a usted mismo. Así que son nuestros ángeles de guardia en estos momentos fronterizos, y les damos gracias también por atendernos para que sigamos estando en un país sano y con la bendición de Dios. Así que vamos a verlo de una manera de colaboración, protección civil nacional.
y también si ustedes saben que hay personas que van allá cuando los guardias no están ahí, hace el reporte también, man, porque es beneficio para todos.
Sí,
Right?
sí, no, sabemos que gente necesita y todo esto, pero hay que tener precaución y damos la advertencia, así de que uno se trate de cuidar, y tenemos que preocuparnos de uno al otro, pero al mismo tiempo nosotros mismos nos tenemos que cuidar individualmente. Tenemos esa responsabilidad de que por unos dólares se pueden ser afectados, entonces ¿para qué va a servir esos dólares? No,
Yeah.
así de que hay muchos anuncios, pero como mencionó Chequit, ahí tenemos una persona que vamos a hablar de niños en casos especiales.
Y también así podemos ver qué pasó en El Salvador. El presidente tenía todas las fronteras cerradas, pero siempre una persona entró y ese pasó la enfermedad a bastante otras personas. Entonces una persona puede hacer que todo va mal para un país.
Bueno, sí, los brotes así que de infección que pueden causar por no cuidarnos es un factor que tenemos que ver claro y mucho en las fronteras, y probablemente, como no sabemos si hay alguien acá adentro que vino, porque ahí viene gente, le gusta esconder una persona acá y el otro, y como digo, sabemos que ahorita estamos en casi temporada de verano y sí vamos a tener los síntomas del catarro y todo eso y la tos, pero siempre debemos de chequearnos a ver que, bueno, la respiración y todo eso fluida, y entonces tomar agua, tomar medicamento para eso, ¿no? So that's another matter, you know,
Yes,
with
yes,
the health sector,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
we cannot. We have to look at all coughs right now. With all the pollen going around, you know, you'll have some cough and whatnot. But just be
Right.
careful and make sure that you stay away from cold drinks. I mean, hotly coffee, hotly.
Stay warm.
You know, stay warm. It will assist your throat and your nasal, where the virus usually sticks, according to information from the health experts that we see in the World Health Organization.
Yeah. Also, RC, the director of immigration also mentioned the Consejo area, and she mentioned some areas in the south and in the west as well, of all those illegal crossings, you're asked to please stay away from them.
Well, yes, areas like San Pedro, right, to go to Chetumal, Consejo, Sarteneja,
Right.
all these, you're being asked to confine yourselves not to these areas, and that there will be heavy patrol, and it's for your safety, for our safety. So don't look at it, well, they're deterring you from whatever you got to do, but it's a protection right now. It is a national concern, and we need to be part of caretaking of ourselves and our country.
Folks, the time is exactly 17 minutes after 7. We will be touching on other issues after this break. We have a guest coming up, and then after we finish with that conversation with that guest, we will be, RC1 has some documents there. We'll be sharing some vital information with you all, and if you have any concerns and so you can reach us, we'll have the phone line open when we come back at 302-2170. You can send me a text message at 600.
Sorry, okay.
Yeah.
Go through the numbers.
Yeah, 600-5769 or 620-4856. That's RC's number.
Yes, and it's important that you ask your question, because next week we're going to have a complete panel of medical and health professionals from the Northern Regional Hospital here with us, so that we can share the model that is happening in Orange Walk to the rest of the country. So your questions are important, because we can take note of it. Whatever we cannot answer, we don't know. I mean, these are health issues. We will take note of your questions, so that we can call, and when they come on next week, remember the number so that you can call, and,
Right.
and whatever question you have, feel free to ask the question, because it's important for us to learn what are the concerns of the people.
Right,
so
right.
The show is not about me and you talking, Chucky.
Yeah, yeah.
We can motivate the conversation, but right now the conversation is more about you asking questions, so that we can help one another better.
We don't have all the answers, but you see, like RC, when these personnel from the Ministry of Health comes on the show and someone wants to ask something, but they might feel reluctant or they might want to call, after the show, if you meet RC1 and check you out on the street and you ask you something, we might not have the answers. That's why the experts will be here, and that's the time for you to join in the show and ask your questions.
Yes, absolutely. And also be noted that whenever the Ministry of Health calls a press conference with the Director of Health Service and his team to give us information, all the media houses have agreed that they will carry it so that we can be informed. So you can listen to the radio, TV, you can follow it on Facebook or wherever else the transmission is out, so that you can be informed and you have the opportunity to ask the relevant questions that concerns all of us. So please note that whenever you hear that this will be happening, or you hear breaking in your program and it comes on, please pay keen attention, so that we get the accurate information from the Ministry of Health.
That's right, RC. So at this time, what we are doing today, we will be taking a break, our first break of the morning, and when we come back, we'll have our guests coming on. So folks, RC1 Robert Checker Usher will be back after these messages right here on North Television Channel 10.
Would you support a thorough audit of the 21st Century Ambulance Department?
2008 right up to 2016.
Audit from 2000 to 2016.
2,914.60 acres in Tiger Creek, 3,000 acres, 0.961 hectares, Jaime Briseño, John Briseño, 827.84 square yards to John Briseño, 5.4 acres to John Briseño and Jaime Briseño, 20 acres in Progreso to John Briseño. To John Briseño again, 6 acres in Progreso, the all of Progreso Gawi, 20 acres freehold to John Briseño, on the New River, to Eligio Briseño, Eudaldo Briseño, and Graciano Briseño, 525 acres of land, 98 acres, Briseño, Graciano Briseño, and Eudaldo Briseño.
world-class spaces for Belizean athletes to thrive and fans to enjoy. Our new basketball and multipurpose arenas have proven their worth, attracting regional and international sporting events and hosting expos, conferences, and proud graduates. Your government moving Belize forward.
Have you ever noticed the development that's taking place in your town or in your city? Maybe it's because you've been too busy enjoying the results. More for Belizeans, more for Belize, the government of Belize, moving Belize forward.
Take a journey with us to endless possibilities. Our future as a country is now. DigiNet Boost is countrywide. Taking Belize into the future. Nationwide technological evolution. As the most advanced fiber connection, DigiNet Boost is a step forward into a modern world. Belize is powered by DigiNet. DigiNet Boost, now available countrywide.
Six cylinders to pure potential and better performance.
It looks like it vibrates. You think it could be the horsepower?
With a quart of oil and the calibration of the injectors, it will start to get the watchers again on the street.
We take a motor to its optimal level. We speak machine, Rush France, making the world function. Authorized agent, German Vega & Sons. Telephone number 322-3625. Email germanvega@btl.net.
Notice the residents of rural communities in Orange Walk and Corozal districts. If you value your health and your children's health, you will dispose of your garbage only at approved sites. The disposal of garbage at any other location is illegal, and if caught, you can be fined up to $5,000. If you don't get caught, you can still suffer health impacts caused by these illegal sites, because illegal dump sites harbor pests such as rodents, possums, and mosquitoes that carry diseases. These can transmit those diseases to you and your children. In addition, the garbage you throw away illegally can contaminate water bodies near your community, the same water bodies you might use for recreation or other purposes. Only with your help can the Department of Environment ensure that Belize's development is safe for present and future generations. You can also contact your local village councils or Belize Solid Waste Management Authority for more information. The Department of Environment thanks you for your help.
Our economy benefits when goods and mobile services get to their destination quickly. When citizens are able to travel without frustration and undue hurdles, everyone benefits as well. The government of Belize is happy to announce the imminent upgrades to the Corozal-Sartaneja Road. 27 miles of road will be upgraded to paved standards and will include the replacement of 2 ferries with new bridges.
Why is it that we're going to invest in Sartaneja? Why is it that we have to take $50 million to invest in an area where we do not have a political directorate? We believe that as a government, we have to provide a service to all Belizeans.
Well, this for the village of Chunosh is a big advantage both ways. Sometimes when we got sickness, we got people sick at the clinic there, women. When we reach at the ferry, can't pass 45 minutes, have to wait. So now this road will benefit whole village, Sartaneja and Copperbank, and part of Progreso too. Well, it's really important for us.
I know that our village is not so much developed with tourism because it's a remote village. And for that reason, we don't have a lot of tourism over there. But now with this upgrading of the road and the pavement of the road, I think that I believe and I think that it will be much, much beneficial for us and for everybody.
More for Belizeans, more for Belize, the government of Belize, moving Belize forward.
Sugar City Morning Show. Welcome back to the Sugar City Morning Show. 29 minutes now after 7 o'clock. RC1 Robert Checker Usher. RC, we have a guest this morning.
Yes, Brother Aldo.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Aldo. How are you?
I'm good. Thank
I
God.
see your greeting so now. This is a new one.
Yes.
So it's hard to say I love you too.
And also try to keep your hands, normally what you use, off surfaces.
All right. How are you, Aldo? How are you doing?
Thank God I'm okay, Mr. Ruben. It's been a while I don't come to this set, to
But that doesn't mean you're keeping
show.
busy, no?
No, I'm busy, very busy.
You're up, especially now in
Yes.
this crisis and such.
Yes.
So it's good to have you here with
And
us.
thank you very much, Mr. Osha, for the space.
Well, we're open for these types of discussion, right, RC?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but RC, we have a topic that we'll be discussing this morning with Aldo.
Okay.
And what's the topic this morning, RC, as we get ready to go over to Aldo?
Well, Aldo deals, and he's very well versed with the Down syndrome, special needs children in particular, and sometimes in all of this coronavirus situation, we're talking about the elderly who are at the high risk and such. But when we share with love, we need an opportunity to share love to our special needs children. And that is where Aldo comes in with a very valuable information with us, and he's here to share that with us today. And Aldo, really want to thank you, take time, and that because it's very important to remember our children.
Yes.
You understand? And especially special needs children and special need individuals. And so this morning, I want to join Chucky in welcoming you to the program. So what do you got for us today?
Well, Mr. Rose, thanks for that introduction. Today is the 20th of March. Tomorrow is the 21st. Tomorrow is a very special day for children, teenagers, adults who are born with Down syndrome, right? Because we celebrate World Down Syndrome Day, which is a very important day for me and for my family and for many other people who are parents and family of children with Down syndrome. As you guys may know, I have a daughter with Down syndrome. So sad to say though that due to the coronavirus, we decided, or we had to, cancel the program that we were going to have tomorrow, which would be first ever, we call it a body walk, having our children doing a little walk so that people would appreciate them. They are part of our society, they are part of our country, to say it that way. And under the team, we decide that is an international team. We have the United Nations give us this special day, which would be the 21st March, which is very synonymous to the syndrome. They gave us on December of 1999, the day of March 21st to be reserved and celebrated as World Down Syndrome Day. So it's very important for us, you know, and maybe I should.
The question arises, they gave you March 21st,
Yes.
and the question is, why is World Syndrome Day on March? Why? What is the purpose of it? And I guess that is what you're going to
Yes,
say. Okay.
it is, like what I said, it's very synonymous to the syndrome. March is the third month, and 21st is the 21st chromosome, right? Scientifically, it's named trisomy 21. 3 meaning 3 sonomy chromosome, and 21, which is the number of chromosomes that we have an extra one, and that's the reason we have Down syndrome, right? So the reason why March 21st. So tomorrow we were going to celebrate that day, and but we have Mr. Campos said it. No, they are part of the high-risk population of our country when it comes to diseases, especially this virus that is trending today in all media, which is the coronavirus. So we decided to cancel simply because we don't want to put our children at risk.
Yeah. And what is Down syndrome?
Well, first of all, the word Down syndrome comes due to the name of the doctor who investigated it or did the research of it, which is Dr. John Langdon Down, right? That's the reason it has the name Down syndrome. Down syndrome is a condition in us that can happen in us humans, whereby we would have an extra chromosome at the 21st division of the 46 divisions of chromosomes in our, when we are made, maybe by our father and our mother, you know, normally we have all this division of chromosomes.
The person's born with it?
Yes, right, and it's a genetic condition, Mr. Cheki. We want to, when we talk about awareness of this syndrome, you know, we want to dispel all beliefs that some parents are told that, oh, it's because you did something bad. Oh, it's because your wife is old. Oh, it's because your husband is a drug addict. You know, the reason why we would have children with Down syndrome, it's not so. Okay, it's a genetic condition. Some say it's maybe you had somebody who in the family that where was inherited. Well, let me say that there's no scientific evidence that it can be inherited.
So, and also it doesn't mean that health-wise something is wrong with the parents.
No,
when it comes to that.
No, okay. It's not. It's not. It's a genetic condition. We can talk about many things. Science have said many things, you know, but none is consistent. When some years ago, science told us that because of the age of the woman, you know, of the mother. Well, let me tell you that today's date, we have mothers 19 years old having children with Down syndrome. You know, so when it comes to the age of the parent, is not scientifically proven. You know,
although having a kid that has this condition, what's the reaction of one of the person? How do you live?
First of all, it has an effect, a psychological effect on parents, right? Many of us, and I can say it on a personal experience, most of us tend to go into this psychological, maybe depression or distress, maybe, whereby you start to overthink on how you will deal with this child, right? And one beautiful thing we have on Down syndrome, Mr. Campos, is that, and I love to say this, you know, we don't judge a book by the cover, right? So sometimes we start judging the child and saying, oh, he will be a sickly, maybe, person, or he would be all the time, you know, with health conditions and so on. But eventually it turns out to be that this child, it's just like any other children. It's just because then we, the parents, start to condition ourselves to them. We start to grow with them, basically. And we start to accept, ride with it, love them so much that eventually all that psychological thing that you had at the beginning is just disappears, you know, and you start living a good life. But let me tell you, sadly, Mr. Osha, that some parents are still in it, are still into this psychological distress when it comes to their
How
children.
does it affect the other children around them? Or how do they react to?
No, they change a family completely. Let me tell you that they change a family completely. In my case, my daughter, Zailin, changed my family, my extensive family, completely. You know, all of them know to deal with her, all of them understand her, all of them love her, all of them are like, they treat this child differently than others, you know, not in a discriminatory way, but in giving her more attention and more love.
Show them the extra love.
Yes.
Well, I guess all of that is where you call special needs children.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
special needs, because within the framework of families, you know, sometimes God works wonders for us to remind us that the unit of family sometimes will go astray, and that the greatest gift of life was love, that God sent His Son Jesus. He loved us so much, you know, and give us an opportunity to reflect that these special needs children, some of them are very bright, Jackie.
Yes,
I've seen a couple of them talk
very
to them,
intelligent.
and they have a borderline of genius within them, that if we listen to them, talk to them, love them, you know. I always say a free hug is always a good hug, the best hug, and you feel a warmth with you that gives you strength. You know, of course, you are concerned as parents, because I mean, like Aldo says, this psychological thing to us to say, well, you know, I mean, why are you a special need? Why to me? Questions that families ask. You know, why to me? What happened? But again, understanding the biological transformation of the 21st chromosome that makes a difference. So when you do your research and you understand what is happening, it's you learn to appreciate humanity more. Special needs children are opportunities for us to share more love. I've been around many of them, Jackie. I remember, and I can share your pain and happiness too, because you prepare yourself. I can recall when we had a special need, our only daughter, but God called it early. So, but you know, it brings you closer to understand that. I have always said, remember when you used to say your children's programs, Jackie? What was my theme? God's favorite people were the little children, the little ones. And it's something that gives us an opportunity to do that. But coming to the syndrome, the reason why you're here, apart from showing love to the families and showing to what did you have planned today, I mean for the 21st, to be symbolic of this day?
Yes.
What is it?
Okay, since Mr. Campos, and thanks very much for the question, you know, and since we won't be having the body walk tomorrow, we have shirts, you know, that will be given to all children, or well, the 20 children that we have in our group. You know, we will still be giving them their shirts, and some parents and people of the community, you know, they order their shirts, they will be getting it. So we're asking that they would put on their shirt tomorrow, take a picture and drop it on social media, you know,
Right,
so that
share the happiness.
share the happiness. And but you don't need a shirt, you know. We talk about the yellow, the navy blue and the yellow come together, and that's the color that we use when it comes to Down syndrome. That's the color that represents Down syndrome. Also, we have the maybe I should call it, make it a practice, you know, in for those who are listening, you know, the 21st of March, you can wear 2 different color socks, you know.
And those colors are?
Any color, just 2 different, you know, meaning that it doesn't matter how different you look, you are still part of society, right?
So you wear socks.
Yes.
Socks. It's symbolic. Chucky, when you come to think about it, we become habitualized. There's no such word. I just make it up. Habitualized. We get into this habit that I have to put on 2 white socks. And if I don't have 2 white socks, I'm looking, a socks is a socks.
Yes.
Yeah.
You understand? A child is a child. And what I get from what you're saying, Aldo, and thank you so much for it, is that when you wear the different color socks, it tells you, don't look at my socks. Look at me and who I am.
Yes.
You understand the inner love that is there. So that yes, I'm walking a socks, but so do you. And it's very good.
Because let me tell you that one of what some parents have always said, I don't like to take my child out. Though for those who tend to continue hiding them, maybe that's not a nice word to say, but that's how it looks, no? They say, I don't like to take my child in public because people just stare at them. It's just like, why are they looking at my child? Why are they staring at her? Why are they judging her or anything? But see, I do that. I take my child out, and if people stare at her, it doesn't matter to me. Maybe they are admiring her, maybe they are loving her, maybe they are saying, "Oh, nice, beautiful baby," or good thoughts. I wouldn't put my mind in saying, "Oh, they are just judging her," or maybe
that's a positive way.
That's the positive way of seeing things.
What's the reaction of these persons living with this condition? How do you communicate with your child?
Okay, there are many therapies put for them, in place for them. Sadly to say, and I hope if anybody is listening, and they would have more information, I would gladly ask them to call. But we don't have all resources in country so that we can have a more, I don't like to use the word normal,
A wholesome approach.
Yes, to have our children with less difficulties, maybe to be a part of society. I know there is speech therapy, there are physical therapies, there are trainings, there are ways of making them for them to integrate themselves more into society. They can go to school, thank God, and I must applaud the efforts of the Ministry of Education that we have now Louisiana Government School accepting our children with Down syndrome, because we have one there, and it's, for us, is a huge success, that even the Ministry of Health now has joined us. Last year they joined us, and they were talking about inclusion and ensuring that we can have our children also coming to these institutions.
Let's entertain this call, Aldo. Hello, good morning, Sugar City Morning Show.
Yes, good morning. I'm listening to the young man, son, what he's saying. I want to share something with you guys. I remember when I was a teenage girl that needed to go to New York for her parents. Nobody wanted to take her. She was a paraplegic. And she went herself and everything. And I took that young lady and I had an experience of my life with that little girl. I had to back her, I had to do all these other things for her and clean. But the love that she showed me was so unbelievable. So I know what he's talking about. When the parents saw that little girl in New York, that mother said, "Mother," cried. But I was happier than them. I cried with them. So I know exactly what he's saying. It was a happy feeling to take care of that dog. So I just wanted to share that because there's people out here that understand.
Indeed.
Thank you.
It is. Every time we see those happy faces, when they're enjoying everything that life has for them, and we make it, the adults make it happen for them, it's something to celebrate, Mr. Osher, and let me tell you that sometimes when my daughter does something, maybe other people would say, all she did was to say a word, or she said a word that she has never said, and she managed to say it, and we celebrate that. That is a success for us. Right. Maybe other people will say, she just said that word and they are happy. Why? But for us, it's a lot. Like, for example, my daughter just started to say no work. She doesn't want her mom to go to work. So for us, it's like, see, she's saying no work. So for us, it's a success. For us, it's something to celebrate. For us, it's something to be happy for. And like how this gentleman said, yes, he was happy to see that this child, he took up the task. I like to say this, we don't have disabled children, we have disabled parents, right? Because sometimes they disable themselves, and the reason why they cannot have their children achieve more.
You see, again, it comes back to society where people always think about the I. Yes. I know one go out there because, I'm talking frankly, I know one carry my picnic out there because, you take away from my look and things, and so not realizing that taking your child out there makes you look greater. It's not because it's real. It's not how much lipstick or makeup you put on or hairdo you put on that makes you look good. It's how you treat people with human kindness and tender love and such. Although you mentioned about your group, our group, as you mentioned, now, if there are other children with Down syndrome, can they join your group?
Of course.
Who do they reach? Who do they go to? And how can they approach? Because it's a special group.
Let me say that I want to applaud all those that in one way or the other have contacted us and telling us, there is a child in my neighborhood or there is a child in my village. He or she is a child with Down syndrome. And let me say that I also want to thank my wife. She is very, very active in this. Every time she goes to a community and she's told about a child with Down syndrome, she will make sure that she goes there and get all the information. And I also want to thank Ms. Naudi Ku. She's a representative of Inspiration Center. And she has a register of children with various disabilities. Again, I don't like to use the word disability, but for people to understand us, or special abilities, and she informed us normally when she would meet another child with Down syndrome. Well, I had a very beautiful experience a week ago. I met a young lady. Her name is Maybelline Dominguez. She's from San Narciso. I met her 2 years ago, but I did not know where she lives. So I found her, last week, actually. And she's a 18-year-old, beautiful young lady, let me say. She was born with Down syndrome. And she's a teenager. And she's enjoying herself as a teenager. I don't see the difference of an 18-year-old that we say does not have a condition and herself who has Down syndrome. Basically, a teenager that is enjoying her teen life, So that fills me that motivates me, that's encouraged me, that tell us, we can achieve more, we can do more. Our children can be very successful in life, just we have to put ourselves and give more to them.
See, encouragement in dealing with these children, the special needs children, is very, very, very important. Like you say, sometimes, it suits me, and I'll talk to myself and Chucky. We talk a lot. We love to talk. Media is about talking, and we do talk a lot. But sometimes silence is golden. Remember that song, Silence is Golden? And sometimes, like you mentioned, they say, well, where you going? And when you look at the church, silence is golden. Sometimes we need to learn from them to be careful what we say. The words we say could hurt people as much as they could love people. It can hurt people. So it's a moment of check and balance for ourselves too, to make us better persons. And so, Aldo, I really appreciate you guys and admire you guys and I love you guys for attending to special needs children. And I know there are many out there that realize, well, maybe, I feel this way. Don't feel anyway. It's a child of God that came to us for a reason, all right? And we have to show love, and it makes us better human beings. Because if we had more love in the world, we wouldn't have all these quarrel fights and war and everything. And sometimes it takes a child to really gravitate us. Yes. You understand? And so, but coming back to the theme of the Down syndrome, you have your group. If there's someone out there, is there a number they can call or something?
Yes, they can call my wife at 662-3850, and they can call me at 620-0064.
Okay.
Or you can contact us via Facebook. My name is Aldo Vasquez, and my wife, she has her name on Facebook as Mariluz Vaz. Contact us. We want to make our group better. And let me say, Mr. Campbell, Mr. Osher, that I must give thanks to those people that in one way or the other help us to achieve these things, to achieve doing a party for them, to achieve doing a summer program. Let me tell you, last year we had 2 days summer program for them. Nice. We got a little jealous that we had at Banquitas many summer programs for our children, and nobody said, well, anybody can come and people with Down syndrome can come. So we decided to do ours, and we did it for 2 days.
Yes.
So I want to thank that businessman that assisted us with all that, Right now I want to give special thanks to the president and the Lions Club of San Esteban, who are the sponsors of our T-shirts. It's something that I'm very grateful for. It's something that I cannot stop saying thanks, because when people just come, and Mr. Campo is not something that we went to them and asked them. They volunteered to assist us with that. Yeah. So they see the need in us making more for these children. They want to join us also celebrating them, so that is what is happening, and I want to say special thanks to these people and special thanks to everybody who in one way or the other wants to help. Sometimes we don't even have to ask them. They were like, hey, can I donate 100 cupcakes? Or can I donate this? Can I donate that? Of course, everything is
How often does the group meet with the children? How often?
We do 3 programs per year, Mr. Campos. This would have been our first one for this year. We normally, after that, we do our summer programs, and then we do a Christmas party. Again, everybody makes parties out there. We have our politicians making Christmas parties for children. It's not easy for us parents to take our children on where we have big crowds, huge crowds, right? Simply because they would stay behind everything. They are not this type of children that they will also try to get in the crowd, and a parent has to be with them, So sometimes we say, no, I don't want to take my child because, it's too much people out there.
Yeah, although we're out of time for this interview, but I would like to ask you.
Well, I think if you don't mind, Chucky, I think it's a very interesting topic. I know we're going to a break, but when we come back, let's talk a little bit about the grouping nationally. If there's a census on these children and whatnot that they're working on. If you don't mind?
Yeah, so we'll take a break, Aldo, and I think you need to go to work.
No, it's okay. We can continue.
So because I want to touch a little bit on the call and that call, but it's our 8 o'clock break. RC1, Aldo Vasquez and Robert Cheque Usher will be back, and when we come back, Aldo will be wrapping up right here on the Sugar City Morning Show right here on North Television Channel 10.
The San Ignacio-Santa Elena Bypass project is now complete. The transformation began in 2012, and now residents of the Twin Towns and visitors alike are enjoying the end result. Works include the full pavement of Lamalus Boulevard, along with 2 miles of sidewalks and drainage, LED lighting, and a roundabout at the entrance of Santa Elena. The Twin Towns now boast the longest and widest bridge in Belize, immune to flooding from the occasional rise in water levels of the McCall River. A bypass road was also built linking the new bridge to Joseph Andrews Drive, which was rehabilitated, as well as 1 mile of pavement, a median, and 2 miles of sidewalks and drainage. This was all done to the tune of $34.8 million. But that's not all. The project was extended due to savings from the successful execution and implementation of the initial scope of works. Now over 2 miles of additional roadworks will commence, including George Price Avenue, Liberty Avenue, and the George Price Highway between Three Flags and Hawksworth Bridge. The government of Belize, moving Belize forward.
Everybody wants a clean and healthy family. That's why they purchase the best food products and the cleansing materials. This time, we give you a bigger size of La Costeña products like the mouth-watering fried beans and the pasta sauce. And surely for your clean laundry, we have the breathtaking aroma of Ensueño Max Suavitel. Even your visitors will ask what you clean your floors and restrooms with. And you can boast it is the variety of Pinol products and Sultan muriatic acid now in 900 milliliters. And much more for the best prices only at German Vega and Sons Imports. We serve you at number 5 San Antonio Road, Orange Walk Town. You can even call us at 322-3625 or 322-2672. Or you can even send us a fax at 322-2571 or email us at germanvega@btl.net. German Vega and Sons Limited, because we care for you.
Motor 5.0, 4 válvulas por cilindro. Todos quisiéramos una. Como que no agarra, ¿no? Siento como que se le pega el balancín. Vamos a darte el aceite que te mereces. Vas a correr como rayo, preciosa.
Los que oímos más allá de las revoluciones, hablamos máquina. Roche-France, poniendo el mundo a funcionar. Agente autorizado, German Vega y Sons. Teléfono 322-3625. Roche-France.
The ongoing technological evolution constantly transforms the way we live our lives. The introduction of our national fiber network creates the opportunity for Belizeans to live the digital lifestyle. Today, Digi is proud to introduce Dana, Belize's first artificially intelligent automated assistant. Dana is the modern customer service experience. Available 24/7, Dana can provide Digi prepaid and postpaid customers with directory information, credit and plan balances, product and promo information, and more. Just talk to Dana. Want to check your credit balance? Ask Dana.
Hey Dana, what's my credit balance?
New Digi promotions? Ask Dana.
Hey Dana, any new Digi promotions?
Dial 113 for directory assistance and dial 119 to talk to Dana. Digi remains committed to introducing the latest in cutting-edge technologies, transforming Belize one technology at a time. Try Dana today.
Thank you for calling Digi Customer Service.
And we also asked Fonseca about a recording secretly made of former party leader John Briceño when he was putting Fonseca on serious blast. So we asked Fonseca about it today.
John Briceño, he has gone mad. We really have to sit back and reflect on what he's saying. Launching this tirade, this attack is absolutely absolutely disgraceful and difficult to understand. But the truth is, in any other country, with a few exceptions, had them made such outlandish statements, this man would be forced to resign, to demit office immediately.
Someone come? Yes, someone coming. Let's go. Sir.
Who?
5 cents question of the day. Why you the letter here?
Who sent me the letter?
That sign right there. You can't read?
Well, make I tell you something. In this here community, everybody dump here, so me just dump my garbage right here.
So if somebody jump off a bridge, you that do it too?
Oh man, no.
You never know that littering is an environmental crime and Department of the Environment can charge you for that?
Why is that a crime?
Because you pollute the same environment you live in, dirtying the same land and water you use. You don't even know that you dumping garbage can make you and your family sick by attracting disease-carrying pests, and the Department of the Environment just to try help we take care of the environment.
So all of that? Well, now that you put it that way.
Thanks for your 5 cents, brother. That's 5 cents question of the day.
This message is brought to you by the Department of the Environment.
Welcome back to the Sugar City Morning Show, 5 minutes after 8 o'clock. 5 minutes after 8, RC, what time it is?
Son las 8:05
de la mañana.
De la mañana, este día, el 20 de marzo, 2020. 20 de 20. Así los que compran lotería ya tienen su jackpot.
Yeah, Aldo, before we went on the break, I wanted to ask you pertaining to the gentleman that called.
So somebody sent me a text. It says, rock your socks for World Syndrome Day.
Rock your socks. Yeah, what the gentleman spoke about, I need to commend him as what you did earlier, that discrimination should not be in anybody's world. Yeah. You know, what's your advice out there, or your plea to persons that are out there that look at these persons in a different way?
I would call it ignorance, Mr. Osha. I would call it complete ignorance. You know, they are this. If you don't know about them and you are not exposed to one of these great experience in having a children with a different ability, or having a family member with a different ability, obviously you would never be able to appreciate it. There are some people who do, you know, because of the way they are. But in society we have these people who this really discriminates them, you know, calling them names. I get very, very angry when I listen to people calling them names. You know, the little sick girl, they would say, or the little mongolito, right, in Spanish.
And that's not proper, right?
That's not proper. They have a name. You know, they have a name.
Just like your Aldo,
yes.
Robert,
Yes.
you know, call them by the name.
By the names, you know,
they have a name.
Right now, when it comes to the world. Down syndrome associations, you know, in Mexico, in the U.S., we're also talking about not putting them kind names. For example, little angels, you know. They're not angels, they have a name, you know. We won't call an angel to a child that doesn't have a condition.
Mm-hmm.
So we say, oh, they're little angels. No, they're not. They have a name. You know, they have a name. They are children, they are adults, they are teenagers. Because they have shown us that they are able to achieve a lot in life. Some of them achieve even more than anybody else. You know?
You spoke about other kids that you have. With this child that has this condition, how does it affect yourself and your immediate family at home? The first child that you all had, is that the child with the condition, or if it's not so, how has it transformed you from the first child you had that didn't have that condition?
She's my second child, right? Xylene is 10 years of age. The first 3 or 4 years, it was a very struggling 4 years.
Because the first child you had was not with that condition,
No,
right?
it's not. It's not. She grew up basically very healthy. Xylene got sick on us in many occasions, you know, and sometimes that's the reason why you tend to start feeling for others, because I know for a fact that some parents cannot afford, if I should say it that way, afford to keep them healthy. Xylene has been very, for 3 to 4 years, you know, we always rushing her to hospitals, hospitalizing her here at Northern Medical Plaza in Chetumal, and it has been very, very expensive for us, very costly. But all this is done because of love, you know. I'm not worrying about where we are going to find the money. In some cases, I didn't even have the money to do that, but I would still take the decision and say, no, let's take her there. Even some doctors, you know, tend to specialize themselves in trying to know about them, you know, so that they are able to treat them far better, because treatment for them, medical treatment for them, basically is, the protocol is not the same as for what we would consider a normal child, right? There are some medications you cannot use, some medication that is contraindicated for them, simply because it may create more problem than what they would do, no?
With these symptoms, does that bring you closer to your child?
Exactly, it does.
Because some
Far
persons,
closer.
when they start to get sick and so, I say, man, left alone, man. And like you said, there's a big word out there, is discrimination.
Yes,
you know?
not in my case, Mr. Usher, and I know many other parents that they have suffered and cried a lot when it comes to seeing their child sick, you know, because of the love, you know, because of all that they've loved them so much that they are like, no, it's heartbreaking, you know, see them sick, and they tend to get critical rather quickly. You know, if some of them would have a flu symptom today, tomorrow they're already having an infection. You know, it's
So your group that you say you form here in Orangewood is a support group basically, or is just a group to say, well, we get
Awareness.
together because like you said, whenever your wife goes around, and God bless you, she goes and gets information and such, and so when they become part of this group,
yes,
it's not just a group to say, well, we are come and have leave parties like you mentioned, but
financially we are not a support group.
No, I'm not talking about financially,
Okay.
but I mean, you can guide, you can
Yes.
share experiences,
Of course.
so that you can strengthen families to be able to cope with it. Some can cope with it, some can handle situations, some cannot. And what I believe one of the group coming together, not Jackie, is to be able to relate to one another. You're not alone in the world with this, and that here we are to strengthen, support you. You understand?
Yes.
We need, like you said, a better understanding of why these special needs children are here in the world, and to be able to cope with it. And you could talk about, for example, your I mean, I don't want to be too facetious, but it could be like sharing, you know, going to like you said, you go to the doctor, you got a flu, one day on a fever, next day, so you could share so that if they see these things and they see these, that they can have a better understanding because you share information. You understand? So I think that there has to be much more, should be much more awareness, and I think as a community we need to do much more. We do things, I mean, we go to parties, we buy liquor, we feel like having fun and everything, which is part of maybe your being, but there are times that you need to care for one another because these special people, special persons mean a lot to us in the world, and families that go through with this need support. We hear about the word support all the time, and support is just sometimes a little wave on how you're doing. But I like your approach to how you deal with them by calling them their names.
Yes.
So maybe you could tell them one of the things. Maybe parents could do a little tag. That my name is. When we go to a conference, a meeting, the first thing they do, you give one piece of paper, give one tag. How your name? You understand? So that we start to influence society to call them by their name. And I think, like you say, you personalize the person as a human being with love by having respect, by respecting that's your name. So
what basically we do, Mr. Campos, is maybe we need to do more. That's a fact. I really wish we can also assist our parents and our children with that financial help, maybe for them to see good doctors, special doctors who can attend to them. But it's not there, it's very expensive, and we cannot I personally cannot. And sad to say that many of our parents, who are with us, and are not that financially stable to say that they can do all those type of expenses. I myself am not. Sometimes I need to go and borrow for me to be able to do that, and because it is expensive. These children are expensive, but the love they give back to us worth everything. All sacrifices that you do for them. And that's mold us, that change us, that make us different people in society. We tend to give more love. We start caring for others, right? And basically, it's something that I love, I cherish. Myself and my wife have that feeling that every time we see a child with Down syndrome, it's like we could be doing anything, and if we see one, we are going there and we start talking to the parents and hugging the children, and I must say that, yes, we have, just 2 days ago, we lost a child, her name was Leani Mai, and she died 2 days ago, and that's something that really touched us. And it's something that we feel, because we are also parents of a child with Down syndrome. We were going to tomorrow also in memory of DeAndre Melendez. I think all of us know DeAndre.
Yep, yeah.
He died some years ago, and also Francine Copo. Actually, this was the first 2 that joined us in this group. We only started with 3, and now we are 20. Okay, so we are growing the group. We support each other by experience. For example, I have a little girl of 10 years. Zylene is 10. In the case of Miss Estelita Carlos, which all of us know also, she has Brianni.
Yeah, Brianni.
And I would ask Miss Estelita, how did you do when Brianni went to the puberty stage, when she started with her menstrual cycles and so on. How did you manage to deal with that? So for me to learn or to know what I can do when xylene reached to that point, because it's not the same situation as my other daughter that when that happened, she knew exactly what to do. You train them, you teach them, and you have to have a huge patience with them. That when you reach that point, you know what exactly to do and how
it's not a time to panic.
Yes.
Well, Aldo, I would like to congratulate you for being so attentive to this, but we need to close this interview at this time, and I want to ask you to send out that special appeal out there to persons that are looking at these children and these persons differently, and also about the socks, I check my socks right now if I can eat $20 in there, but I see not doing my socks.
But I want to tell you, okay, that on many occasions, I have been out to work with 2 different socks. And when I put it on, I don't feel no way.
Well, it's 2 different colors.
2 different colors, yeah, but still, they are 2 different colored socks.
Yeah.
And I don't feel anyway.
Yeah,
and I want to tell you the truth, these days when you go out there, if you got 3-4 color socks, people don't really matter. It's a matter of how society looks at things.
I see one news report one time where I see a lot of money in our socks. Right? I look at my socks, but it's not here or there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Aldo.
Mr. Usher, Mr. Campos, thank you very much for this time. For me, it's very special. I would like to talk about this every day if possible. But
let's do this before you.
Okay.
Hello, good morning, Sugar City Morning Show.
Hello, good morning.
Morning, sir. Morning. Okay. Una vez más, por favor.
Señor. ¿Qué condición tiene su niño o su niña?
Es una niña, ella tiene autismo.
Autismo. Ok. Nosotros tenemos en Belice el Inspiration Center. Ellos trabajan con niños con discapacidades o capacidades diferentes. Pero muchos de nuestros parientes han utilizado o se han ingresado como miembros en Chetumal, en el CRI. ¿Verdad? Allí hay bastantes recursos. No es que nosotros no estemos haciendo nada en Belice, pero yo sé que usted como padre quisiera hacer mucho más para su niño o su niña, ¿verdad? Y obviamente usted quisiera buscar esos recursos. Así que no es que esté desacreditando lo que tenemos en Belice, pero si usted desea buscar mucho más, yo creo que usted puede ingresarse y ser miembro de esta institución en Chetumal. Ellos nos dan esa bienvenida a nosotros igual, no hay ningún tipo de diferencia, no es como que a usted le van a cobrar más. Lo que paga es una membresía nomás, no es que va a pagar una cantidad de dinero por ese servicio. Ok, así que usted puede hacer eso, sí, pero si es que no puede, incluso teníamos un tiempo una línea de autobús aquí en Belice que nos daba el pasaje gratis, ¿verdad? Para llevar a estos niños que nos llevaba a Chetumal, ¿verdad? Sin costo alguno. No sé si sigue, créame que no he chequeado últimamente, así que usted puede ver eso también dependiendo de dónde sea, ¿no?
¿Qué autobús es eso, Aldo?
I think it was the Joshua's bus service, I don't know, no sé si todavía lo siguen haciendo. Pero como les digo, si usted quiere buscar mucho más, si usted quiere ver qué más puede hacer para su hijo o su hija, yo creo que ahí puede encontrar eso.
Okay, your closing remarks, Aldo?
Yeah, well, Mr. Usher, I just want to ask all our parents, all those that have a child with different abilities, especially if they would have another health condition, because in the case of children with Down syndrome, most of our children are born with a cardiopathy, with a heart condition, right, which is VSD, ventricular septal defect. I just want to ask you that keep them safe, do everything possible for you to keep them safe. If we're talking about self-isolation, this is one group at risk that must stay home. Not because you are invited to something and you want to take your child, or for any little reason you want to get your child out of the house, or you're feeling that you are not taking out your child. No, keep them home. It's safer there, Try to practice all the preventative measures with them. I myself and my wife, I'm doing it. I work in the pharmaceutical business. I visit all these pharmacies. So what I do is, as I reach home or before I even get out of my vehicle, I start sanitizing. My wife does the same thing since she works at the Ministry of Health. Do that. Put all the measures possible to prevent any type of disease, and obviously this virus that is going around, thank goodness up to now we don't have a case in the country. So I'm just asking you, practice all those preventative measures with our children.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, Aldo, and we'll bring you back on other occasions on
Sure,
different
Mr.
topics
Usher.
as well, no?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you, Aldo, for
Thank
coming
you.
in and sharing with us World Syndrome Day, and the theme is We Decide, okay?
Yes.
And we want to thank you and wish you well and the group in taking care of special needs children, particularly those with the Down syndrome. And as we celebrate that day, which is scheduled tomorrow, let us always remember them in our prayers.
Yes.
The source of power comes from above, and we need to share our well-being and prayers with all those families and all those children and individuals that are going through this new lifestyle that we need to adapt ourselves. We need to adapt ourselves and to show them love. Negrito, I always call you that, right?
Yes.
Good to see you. Thank you, Aldo.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Let's do that.
Have a great day.
Thank you,
Well,
Mr.
God bless you.
RC1 and Robert Checker Usher will be back after these messages right here on Norte Vision Channel 10. Bye. Thank you. Bye.
People leading the PUP anti-corruption charade. The $3 million man who the U.S. Ambassador Dieter wrote to Washington about credible reports that he accepted a $3 million bribe for an oil contract which he used to purchase his cable company. The malignant tumor who diverted tens of millions of dollars sent from Venezuela for medicine and housing for the poor to settle his friend's private UHS debt. Mr. 666, who while he was Minister of Education, over $666,000 meant for scholarships to poor students was diverted to friends and cronies. Even a 4-year-old got thousands of dollars under this scam. Baby Toomer, who is the principal in the company that received $3.5 million for a piece of land close to the Philip Golson Airport. Belize, these are the leaders of your new PUP.
You have an 8-cylinder powerful engine disguised as an aluminum alloy that spins at 8,000 revolutions per minute.
Goes like this. You think it's a turbo?
No, with a cleaning of injectors and a change of oil, you will run more efficient, my friend.
For those who understand the engine like it talks to you, we speak machine. Rush France, making the world function. Authorized agent, German Vega & Sons. Telephone number 322-3625. Email germanvega@btl.net.
The sunny days are here, and whether it's for a picnic or in your kitchen, you need the meat. Gillette's Meat Shop proudly offers a variety of juicy cuts such as processed meats, ham, bacon, salami, longanisa, and sugar cure ham. just to mention a few. Enjoy our meats in beef, pork, and mutton. So for that healthy cut your family enjoys, visit us at number 18 San Antonio Road in Orange Walk from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 12 p.m. and 1:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. Saturdays, 7 a.m. to 12:30 and 3 to 5 p.m. Sundays, 8 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Place your orders at 322-3486 or 322-2175 or even 610-4061. Send us an email at derekgillett31@gmail.com. Gillett's Meat Shop, fresh and processed meats.
Ay, qué rico.
El mismo PUP que tú estás hablando, el mismo PUP, ese es el cáncer del PUP que estás hablando, que debes de hablar, ese cáncer que tenemos. Ese es el cáncer que tenemos que cubrir en ese país. Ese cáncer que compraron y robaron millones y millones y millones y millones y millones de dólares de la gente. Esto hizo un poquito de dinero. Millones, tens of millions of dollars.
Where are those millionaires? Those people that get millions of dollars over the 10 years that we owe the government. Where are those people that benefited? Millions of dollars that could keep on here, but they don't call us names. They need to bring money back to the PUP. Money that belongs to our People's United Party. That money does not belong in foreign bank accounts.
The Philip Goldson Highway between Belize City and the Philip Goldson International Airport is getting a major facelift to the tune of $31.5 million. Section B of the highway upgrading project between Haulover Bridge and the Buttonwood Bay Boulevard roundabout is underway at an investment of $21 million. Works consist of the full rehabilitation of the road to paved standard, which includes the widening of the road to 4 lanes, lined sidewalks and drains, wide shoulders, median, and parking plus a bus lane at designated sections of the road. LED road lighting will be installed along with road safety features such as signs, reflectors, and road markings. The project will also facilitate in the improvement of underground infrastructure for the public utility companies. The Government of Belize, moving Belize forward.
Would you support a thorough audit of the 21st century ambulance department?
2008 right up to 2016.
Audit from 2000 to 2016.
acres in Tiger Creek, Forest Walk, 3,000 acres, 0.961 hectares, Jaime Briceño, John Briceño, 827.848 square yards to John Briceño, 5.4 acres to John Briceño and Jaime Briceño, 20 acres in Progreso to John Briceño, to John Briceño again, 6 acres in Progreso, the all of Progreso Gawi, 20 acres freehold to John Briceño, mid-coast of the river, to Eligio Briceño, Eudaldo Briceño, and Graciano Briceño, 525 acres of land, 98 acres, Briceño, Graciano Briceño, and Eudaldo Briceño.
World-class spaces for Belizean athletes to thrive and fans to enjoy. Our new basketball and multi-purpose arenas have proven their worth, attracting regional and international sporting events and hosting expos, conferences, and proud graduates. Your government moving Belize forward.
Have you ever noticed the development that's taking place in your town or in your city? Maybe it's because you've been too busy enjoying the results. More for Belizeans, more for Belize, the government of Belize, moving Belize forward.
Take a journey with us to endless possibilities. Our future as a country is now. DigiNet Boost is countrywide. Taking Belize into the future and nationwide technological evolution. As the most advanced fiber connection, DigiNet Boost is a step forward into a modern world. Belize is powered by DigiNet. DigiNet Boost, now available countrywide.
Six cylinders to pure potential and better performance.
It looks like it vibrates. You think it could be the horsepower?
With a quart of oil and the calibration of the injectors, it will start to get the watchers again on the street.
We take a motor to its optimal level. We speak machine, Rush France, making the world function. Authorized agent, German Vega and Sons. Telephone number 322-3625. Email germanvega@btl.net.
Notice to residents of rural communities in Orange Walk and Corozal districts. If you value your health and your children's health, you will dispose of your garbage only at approved sites. The disposal of garbage at any other location is illegal, and if caught, you can be fined up to $5,000. If you don't get caught, you can still suffer health impacts caused by these illegal sites, because illegal dump sites harbor pests such as rodents, possums, and mosquitoes that carry diseases. These can transmit those diseases to you and your children. In addition, the garbage you throw away illegally can contaminate water bodies near your community, the same water bodies you might use for recreation or other purposes. Only with your help can the Department of Environment ensure that Belize's development is safe for present and future generations. You can also contact your local village councils or Belize Solid Waste Management Authority for more information. The Department of Environment thanks you for your help.
Our economy benefits when goods and mobile services get to their destination quickly. When citizens are able to travel without frustration and undue hurdles, everyone benefits as well. The government of Belize is happy to announce the imminent upgrades to the Corozal-Sartaneja Road. 27 miles of road will be upgraded to paved standards and will include the replacement of 2 ferries with new bridges.
Why is it that we're going to invest in Sartaneja? Why is it that we have to take $50 million to invest in an area where we do not have a political directorate? We believe that as a government, we have to provide a service to all Belizeans.
Well, this for the village of Chunosh is a big advantage both ways. Sometimes when we got sickness, we got people sick at the clinic there, women. When we reach at the ferry, can't pass, 45 minutes have to wait. So now this road will benefit whole village, Sartaneja and Kaparbank, and part of Progreso too. Well, it's really important for us.
I know that our village is not so much developed with tourism because it's a remote village. And for that reason, we don't have a lot of tourism over there. But now with this upgrading of the road and the pavement of the road, I think that, I believe and I think that it will be much beneficial for us and for everybody.
More for Belizeans, more for Belize, the government of Belize, moving Belize forward.
City Morning Show.
Welcome back to the Sugar City Morning Show. The time now is 23 minutes away from 9 o'clock. ¿Qué hora es, RC?
Son las 8:37 minutos.
Yes, RC, you know, everyone is concerned about this epidemic that is going around with the coronavirus. Yes. And what transpired in the House of the Representatives is pertinence of what is happening when it comes to finances.
Yes, absolutely. So yesterday in the National Assembly in Belmopan, Madam Speaker introduced the caution, the need for caution, and into taking care of oneself with the coronavirus. Actually, the distancing, members had to sit next to each other, and so to be able to deal with the two bills, like the General Revenue Appropriation Bill 2020-2021, there was an agreement between the Right Honorable Prime Minister and the Leader of the Opposition that they will curtail, that the government was not going to debate, usually answer, and it was agreed and showed by the Leader of the Opposition that he would be the only one to comment again the debate on the budget, and so that's the way it was. So the Leader of the Opposition usually starts the debate. The Leader of the Opposition made his presentation. Prime Minister rose and said, "Look, as we had agreed upon, we are not going to quarrel over this thing. You know, we have listened, and there will be another time for the debate."
Yeah.
And such.
Is that a move to speed up the process, RC?
Yes, because you see, the National Assembly yesterday had like internal curfew. You use it in parentheses. That with the staff, it was limited who can move where. You know,
okay.
There was controlled movement. The media, they were up on the gallery on the middle of the building. They stack up one another, and it was expected that maybe they could have gone and used the whole wing, but people always want to get the frontal shots. So, but to avoid all the contact, it went through the Appropriation Bill 2020-2021. Introduced, went through his first, second, and third reading, and it was passed, and it will go to the Senate to go to have a quick response and a hopeful approval. Then goes to the Governor General to assent his signature, and then the Prime Minister, Minister of Finance, then signs onto that, and then there will be early distribution. There was, I believe, when the appropriation bill came to reading, it was referred to the committee of the House that deals with that. At that stage, I believe there was an amendment to the bill to be able to add the $25 million plus that the government had indicated. Remember the press conference?
Yes.
So that it was like a supplementary budget. So that was amended to include, to be able to deal with the costs coming up and affecting as a result of the coronavirus. So
RCMY, I heard the Prime Minister said something about borrowing this 25 million from the central bank. Does that has to be the procedure that when it comes to the central bank, the government has to borrow?
Well, has to, like how you say, but do you have to or do you need to?
Okay. So right now it's need.
Right now it's a need, and these kind of discussions now, and we must let our audience know that these discussions now about how the budget and how the attention to the COVID-19 is dealing. It's a discussion now between the Prime Minister, the government, and the Leader of the Opposition. It's a joint thing. It's not a UDP, PUP thing. It's a national thing. So both deliberate on what needs to be added and such. Okay. And once it's agreed upon, as the Prime Minister said, that the Leader of the Opposition had made some recommendations when they had their discussions, and that was included,
okay,
and that was passed, because it is important that the stream is open in governments, for example, to be able to purchase things that are needed. And of course, you know, mention was made that more equipment is to be gotten for the healthcare providers and such, and preparedness, you know. We talk about ventilators, and even in the United States, I was looking at the news last night where I believe in a state they had about 160 ventilators and they needed 800,000.
Yeah. I saw that. Yeah.
No, if the United States have the money, have the research, so we need to be careful. No, that's why when they tell us we take care of ourselves, wash your hand with soap and water, and Clorox, that will disinfect you. Keep your lead distance and practice good hygiene practices, so that we can start taking care of ourselves individually. So that's a promotion the government has issued in the departments to be able to clean your knobs and everything, and if people come in, will you spray them to the office? And but in terms of the House meeting, it was one of the shortest House meeting. By 1:15 or 1:30, the latest it was finished. The business of the day was concluded.
So only the Prime Minister and the leader of the opposition spoke yesterday.
Yes. So in terms of the appropriation bill and the debate.
Right.
Okay. So when the motion of adjournment came, usually on the motion of adjournment, members have an opportunity to speak on matters of urgent public concern. So all of this was suspended because concentration was the attention of the budget and how treatment is going to be made to the COVID-19 situation.
Financially, it's really tough on the government right now, RC, because we are seeing that areas that are affected mostly is in the tourism sector, but they have different persons that are affected as well, because persons, especially persons that deal with entertainment business or so. We are in the entertainment business. We are in radio as well. You know that usually these times is when Easter is come. They have many businesses advertising their specials for Easters. When it comes to bands, bands are, most of their gigs are cancelling out. But there is a release as well from the music ambassador, was saying that they are calling for persons that are in the tourism sector to send in their proposal to see if there can be some help. I understand and I know that they are affected, but persons that are musicians and cultural persons, that they are not directly in the tourism sector. So what I will do, I will still send in my proposal and explain what's the effect on all musicians and bands, not only our bands. So I will send in a proposal as well. No?
Yes, and I think I spoke to one of your colleagues on the radio thing. Radios and television are very essential.
Right.
And I don't know if you have the experience, but because of the businesses being affected, we have high electricity bills, high phone bills, because the equipment has to be under air condition, and we get outlandish current bills and such.
We have to stay on the air.
And I'm not embarrassed to say that businesses would love to advertise with you, but because businesses are dealing with things, there are less advertisement.
Yes.
Our expenses are growing, and some of us have loans.
Right.
We make loans sometimes to continue, and I humble myself to say that I know you and us and Delon, we started this thing with a community-based thing, and we really not into the full business thing of radio stations. I humble myself that if people want to give, well, maybe the government or through the music ambassador, they would have consideration for small radios like ourselves.
Right. Yep.
Because we have workers too that we need to also take care of.
Yes.
And we fire the workers in our home, but it have to be there because we air just like you do on Facebook whenever their health. Ministry of Health has a conference, we put it live through the radio, we put it there, and we do this as a free. We do it as a part of our contribution to maintain the public informed. So while the tourism sector is involved, there are many, you have other, like for example, if cane cutters, cane farmers, and it was mentioned in National Assembly, the money that was there, we need to release that. So one of the things that in the appropriation bill, that all these things will be taking effect, and the task force will be directed to look at all these things so that the funds can go to where they are needed, and other concerns, for example, and such. But again, I was talking to some BDF soldiers. Again, there has to be concern for the soldiers, police, as well as the immigration and all these people, customs.
Yeah, essential services.
Essential services.
Yeah.
So media is under essential services. We need to communicate.
Right.
There's a whole spectrum of analysis that needs to be done, and that is why we are asked to take care of ourselves individually. But like we say, I will give Sugar City Radio, we will give as much as we can, but I mean, if I can't pay my light bill this month and my phone bill, I mean, I think they need to have a consideration on us.
Yeah.
I not say necessarily, pay it off for we, but I mean, give us time for deal with it. Because if we not pay next month, if we not pay the light bill and the phone bill, we can't get calls, we can't transmit, and then how will we disseminate information? So at the end of the day, at least to give consideration for partial payments down the road whenever things are okay. No? So,
yeah, we do a community service, RC.
Absolutely, and like I said, we volunteer, and if by chance they have a little something to share to, they know where Universal Radio is, they know where Sugar City Radio is, and the other smaller radios in the country.
Yeah, right here on Channel 10 is a medium that we use to send out the information, relevant information, right?
We need to look at these areas where we are, what we call self-sustained. We sustain ourselves, and of course there are other sectors and other areas for consideration, but like I say, we need to have an overview of what's happening. I notice also on Facebook you have a group there promoting for like the electricity to
waiver.
To somebody to pay for it and such. But
the government cannot do everything, RC.
Can't do everything. But that's why I said what we can do, we do. But what we can't do, like I always say, there are 3 ways to do things. Things that I can do. I make a buy me soap. I got water. Make a buy my Clorox. I can mix that and water and wash and stay clean. No. Something else, for example, face mask. I understand now you can go to the pharmacist and put your name for an order in case they come. Citizens in the event. No, you need masks when the situation is there. Right now, once you take care of yourself, you don't need it. If you got a leak, bad cough, you need your protection. I may do a leak out of the paper, out of the how you call the paper? The hand paper, the big roll.
The paper roll.
Face mask out of it with rubber band.
Yeah. Also, RC, for those persons that have young kids, newborn babies, we need to put extra vigilance on those young born babies as well.
Yes, and I remember vigilance to the children and such. And if you have a flu at home, as much as you love the little one, separate yourself.
Yes.
Because you can affect the child, and I know we like how we leave children and grandchildren, and how we love them. But if you got a leave flu and cough, you got to leave them. You got to isolate yourself in our way, and that is where we can do that on our own. So what we can do on our own, we do. What others and I can do, we do, and things that we cannot do, others will help us with these things. But the important thing, Chucky, overall, is for us to remember that we are to take care of ourselves. Water and sanitation, hygiene. We can't overemphasize washing with hands and everything and cleaning things. I mean, like this table, for example, only soap and water, only Clorox. You mix together on a cloth, you wipe everything. So
persons are in and out in this place.
Because when we talk, sometimes we have the droplets come out. All right, and so we need to keep in our condition microphones and surrounding things. Well, I make sure I carry my leaf sanitizer every time and do the best. But again, that doesn't mean I'm trying to do the best to protect myself, but that doesn't mean that we're not eligible for contamination.
Yeah, RC, I would like to ask you to help me with the announcement here that it was sent yesterday, and it pertains persons that travel from the U.S. to Belize. Especially car dealers. And this announcement is saying here, if any persons are thinking to go into the border, that was yesterday, that they needed to make it by 4:58 p.m. yesterday, because all transmigrantes and border closing only if you make it by, if they made it by 4:59 yesterday in the building, then they would be able to cross today. But they are saying that police are ensuring that, and good luck to all brothers. So that was from yesterday. So if you have your families coming from, they are planning to come from the U.S. and coming through the Mexican border, with the U.S.-Mexican border, according to this release, it's a reliable one, then that area is closed.
Well, yes, it's closed, but remember, we still have the allowance of nationals coming home. However, you will be screened.
Yes.
You have to go through screening, and screening entails having patience. Where have you been? Who have you been with? You understand the questions that are doing there, because it's to protect you, and to protect those where you're coming in contact, your family or anything. So you need to be careful. So Belizeans are welcome home.
Yeah.
But the British High Commission also sent out a release indicating to all British nationals that they are to fly out as soon as possible, because airlines are cutting down.
Yes.
And if you need to go, you have to stay where it is. I know, for example, some Mennonites like go to Canada and these areas. They are out there. They cannot leave. They cannot come back. They don't allow them, because they live here for so many years with permanent residence, but they are nationals over there.
Yeah.
You understand? And they travel with passports that are not Belizean.
Yep.
So if you have your Belizean passport and such, and you're coming home, well, you will be allowed, but you will be screened.
Yes.
You will be screened. So I know that there is a process that goes into it.
Yeah, some of the airlines that go through Central America, like the Copa Airlines and the Avianca, and so I believe that today they will suspend their flights coming into Belize as well.
And some flights from the U.S. to Belize once a week now.
Yeah, once a week.
Once a week, 1 day. So people going and coming, you need to check your flights and whatnot. And again, cargo is allowed, because we don't make gloves and certain things. So the cargo is allowed, and it comes under application. You apply so that customs knows, because all departments are taking avenues now. Yesterday there was a release where the Lands Department, Natural Resources, closed down. You can't go in there and line up now. You call for an appointment now. For even that is going to create a difficulty, because who's going to screen the appointments and whatnot? And I think similarly, other ministries will shortly be taking, I am pretty sure, a follow-up with the public service, that certain areas, for example, like where we are in rural development, people come in and out every day. So we have to put a protocol. Whenever you come in, or you have to spray and clean yourself before you enter, have your sanitizer and what it is, and then one at a time. And then you clean after they leave. And eventually, from what I see, offices will have to be closed. And whenever that time comes, and I think the sooner the better, and the ministries are to ensure that the departments all have what they need, the items necessary for them to protect themselves. You can't have a worker working anywhere. We talk about the health care provider that needs what they have to do, so long as government service areas are open, that respective ministry has to ensure that it does whatever is necessary to protect the workers there also, because I cannot be contaminated here working with you, then I go home to my family. And almost all families, not all, almost all families have elderly, the ones that are risk. So we need to look at all these facts that are before us, and continue to practice good hygiene. Again, remember, drink a lot of water. A lot of water.
You say warm water is recommendable.
Yes, they have shown warm water. Well, what I do in the mornings, I put hot water, just enough for keep it warm, and you go down good. I have no problem. And it also helps my body during the course of the day.
RC, it's time for us to go, but I believe you indicated to us yesterday that the Ministry of Health will be here on Tuesday.
Yes, we know that people have a lot of questions, a lot of health questions, and especially here in Orange Walk and Corozal, where we have porous borders. We thought it best that we will have some high-ranking officials of Orange Walk District We'll be having them here on the show, Sugar City Morning Show,
On
Tuesday morning. So you can prepare your questions. Whatever concern you have, you can ask. And again, we can give out the numbers. Jackie, what are the numbers?
For here is 302-2170.
And yours is?
600-5769. And I know you want to have to write it down. 620-4856.
620-4856. So that on Tuesday, we'll have a district forum where you'll be able to listen to our health care providers and the planners. And you can ask any question if you want to ask about quarantine, what it is that you do, where you get this, what's happening.
Yeah.
On Tuesday morning, please tune in to Sugar City Morning Show right here on Nortevisión Canal 10, and we go countrywide, and we will simulcast at Sugar City Radio 103.1 FM to go. I don't know if you'll simulcast also, but I think it's something that is needed in our district, and we cover Anjoa Corozal, of course, a little bit farther sometimes. But it's valuable health information. So on Tuesday, we invite you to please tune into Sugar City Morning Show.
Before we leave RC, there's many different ways that we can greet each other. We used to do the shake hand. We used to do this, then we used to do this. Is there any other one?
Yes.
What that indicates?
Un fuerte abrazo, hermano.
Okay.
Un fuerte abrazo. I'm greeting you.
This way?
Yes.
Okay.
Un fuerte abrazo, hermano. Okay.
Your closing remarks for today, RC1.
Well, I want to thank you, Jackie, for inviting me, and I want to thank all our viewers for paying attention and being keen on getting the right information. I'm reminding you and myself and us that we get the official information from the Ministry of Health. Ministry of Health is the coordinating ministry that meets with all the task force and gets the information and gets the accurate information. Many times we have individual concerns, we listen to Facebook and such, and any question, the Ministry of Health has its hotline numbers, 0800 MOH CARE, and then you ask your questions. And whenever they have press conferences, we'll ensure that we carry it live for you. So stay tuned, practice the hygiene and such, and the distancing. It's important we do that. And today is closing day for the schools for 2 weeks, which will go into the Easter holidays. And again, it's not a vacation. It's an opportunity for us to unite our families again and teach our children what to do, how to do things, and keep them busy at home. And of course, prayer is vital. Prayer is vital, and I encourage us to pray every day and be grateful for all the blessings and graces and protection that our beloved nation has received so far. And be aware. And again, if you know of anyone that comes in and whatnot, report it. You are to report it. Don't wait till it hits you. And but there are ways to do that. And so let us all come together as one Belizean family and take care of ourselves. God bless you. Have an enjoyable and safe weekend.
Thank you very much, RC. And this message to all musicians and bands out there. The Office of the Music Ambassador emphasizes with the tourism-based music industry and the music industry at large during this difficult time of financial hardship caused by the global coronavirus outbreak. Musicians, performers, DJs who work in the tourism industry that are suffering and financial losses due to the economic crisis brought upon our nation via the coronavirus, please email ambassadorbarrow@gmail.com. Once again, it's ambassadorbarrow@gmail.com. We'll share that with you once again, ambassadorbarrow@gmail.com. RC1 and Robert Checker Usher, you can see us tonight once again, but don't call us 9 o'clock tonight. It will be a repeat. All right. If the good Lord so will, RC1 and Robert Checker Usher will be back right here on Monday. We are trying to do our best to hold up. Stay tuned to your advisories coming out from the Ministry of Health when it comes to the coronavirus. No case has been confirmed in Belize as yet. Thank you all for taking care of yourself and taking care of each other. Thanks Rahim. Thanks everyone who tuned in. RC, we're going out with that one this morning. How it goes?
Forte abrazo.
All right. Have yourself a wonderful day and, of course, a wonderful weekend.